little bit more about yourself.
Okay, so I'm Jacqueline. I run a hair salon called PREP Luxe. Out of that business as well, we also distribute GHD products. So there's the B2C part where it's a hair salon to consumers, B2B part where we distribute hair products to other salons, and I also do wedding photography.
So how did you come up with the idea of running your own hair salon?
So I ran this hair salon with two other secondary school friends. When we first started about 4 years ago, it was Singapore's first wash and blow dry only hair salon in Singapore. So no haircuts, no hair colour, just wash and blow dry, styling and treatments. This was out of the back of identifying a market gap in Singapore, where you had a lot of hair salons that did all these services, but there was no specialised hair salon in that sense. And it was a growing trend. Back then, it was when we opened, it was already around in the US for 5 years, in Europe for 3 years, in Australia for a year. And the year that we opened, we were one of the first few in Asia to open as well.
Was it difficult when you first started out? Because I'm very sure a lot of people would have thought like, why would I want to go to a salon just for a blowout? You know, I also want to have the other stuff.
Yeah, definitely it was difficult on different levels, right? So first to customers who come in and say, can I get a haircut? Like, we're sorry, we're a hair salon, but we don't do haircuts here. And they're like, what do you mean you don't do haircuts? And they get quite
upset?
Not on any fault of theirs. It's more like when you are taken by surprise and therefore you come across as upset. That's quite fascinating. Then we have to... So consumer education was a very integral part of starting out this business. The second thing as well is hiring our employees. So all three of us, none of us have hairstyling background, which is very not the norm in the hairstyling industry in Singapore. So we hire employees, they're like, wait, you want me to work with you in this hair salon, but you don't cut hair. You only do wash and blow dry and styling, which is the most basic service at any other hair salon. And you want to be my boss, but you have no hairstyling experience and background. So again, that again flips things on its head, because that interview was a legitimate two-way interview, which is what most interviews should be anyway, where we were not only interviewing them, they were also questioning us and asking about us. And then the third thing as well is, how do you go and enter an industry where there are no predecessors? There's no, when you go to business school, you have case studies, this is the best case scenario, this is the worst case scenario, you look for business mentors, and in our case, we had none of that to look for. So, as with most businesses, I think a lot of things is actually about solving things creatively and finding ways around it. So yes, we had no predecessors, no best case studies, but then you talk to different people and you bring across like the best parts they have learned from their different business encounters, and you try and bring it together and distill it into our business.
So now you have actually turned into a full-fledged salon, right?
Yes, that's right.
So why did you decide to make that switch? Was it because there was a lot of demand, or how did it naturally go into?
So within the second year of opening the wash and blow dry only hair salon, we had a lot of customers that said, I want to cut my hair with your hairstylist, but you're not letting me do it. It's quite funny, and you're like, we really like your hairstylist. And you look at consumer psychology, it's fascinating, because the only time people will use the word I cheated on someone is usually I cheated on, or someone cheated on me would be like I cheated on my lover cheated on me, or I cheated on my hairstylist. So that says a lot about, you know, the vocabulary that we use in modern day vernacular. Says a lot about the relationship with most people and their hairstylists as well. And yet these consumers who are coming to me just for wash and blow dry, they're saying that we actually want to switch over and have all our hair services on here. So out of the back of that demand, so we opened PREP Luxe, which is basically a full service hair salon. And we were planning to actually have both function at the same time, so we have two outlets. But in March last year, we moved out of our first outlet. It was not an easy decision to make, but you have to be very realistic when you run a business. You look at, for example, rental. As we all know, rental in Singapore, it's very high, yes. And therefore, when you run a business, it's about numbers, but at the end of the day, as a boss or an employer, right, you're not just looking at people as numbers, you're looking at people. These people have trusted their lives with you. They could go off anywhere and put their lives in anybody's hand, right? But that's an approach we take with the people that we hire as well. We will want the people that we hire to be in a good position, and therefore it makes more sense on the whole, right? That it's helpful for whoever who is committed to stay with us and work with us, that we're actually adding value to their lives as well. And so we had to move out of the first one. But then that being said, as with all businesses, there will be, you look at the glam side and you look at how like, oh, who's making so much money, who is a good brand, who is all the best consumers, but a lot of businesses face a lot of challenges, and it's not about how you fail, it's how you get out again after, let's say, for example, some people look at closing the first outlet, you know, of course it's very close to our hearts, the first outlet. Like, oh, was that a failure? I would say it wasn't, in the sense that because we picked ourselves up again. And so now that we are back to one outlet, but we see our plans to expand again, and we'll do it differently.
Yeah, so that leads on to my next question actually, which is, what are your plans for the future for PREP Luxe?
So we plan to also go back to opening a very specialised salon, like what we did in our first outlet, where it's focused on very few services and you do it very well. It's very different. We want people to walk into the salon feeling like they're back at home. On the surface, yes, you know, wash and blow dry. Some people are like, oh, only the Thais do wash and blow dry. And there are all these like misconceptions, which is quite fascinating. But we want to go back to opening a smaller salon that focuses really back to the basics of what we open with wash and blow dry and treatments and all that. And it's about, as with all business, you have to cater to a need, and that's why you're a business there, to add value to people. And I think the greater value behind having specialized like blowouts and treatments and all that, right, is in the very busy day, modern day in Singapore, a lot of people don't have enough me time or digital detox time or respite. And beyond, you could go for a massage and get that respite, but you walk out and you wouldn't look as, it's not as efficient, because you might look out with walk out with messy hair and things like, you look very relaxed, but it's not about, that's not about the look you're going to carry to your next meeting or a dinner party. You come for a wash and blow dry, you get that head massage, you get that me time, you get that downtime. You could speak to the hairstylist if you like to. If you wouldn't, our hairstylists are sensitive enough to know that this is your respite. And you walk out and you look good and you feel good. And I think that is very important, because a very untouched issue in Singapore is really like the state of emotional well-being for a lot of people. And beyond beauty, people think beauty is surface, it's surface level and it's superficial. But a lot of it ties back to how the person feels about themselves at the end of the day. And that is a true value of many different beauty services. Yeah.
That's true. So back to your two things you are doing, both PREP Luxe as well as photography.
Yeah.
So how do you actually juggle between the two? It must be difficult.
They actually function, so in my head they are compartmentalized into very different timelines. So with weddings, people book their wedding photographer like a year in advance or half a year in advance. So in my head, with photography, the business, it's run on a very much in advance timeline. With the hair salon, of course, you make 1 year plan, 3 year plan, and 5 year plans. But at the end of the day, when it comes back to the day-to-day thing, it's really about daily operations and doing that on a daily basis. So they function on different timelines in my head, which is okay. Yeah. So it's separate, but it makes sense as well. Yeah.
So what did you say in your daily things that you do for Luxe PREP Luxe, sorry?
Yeah.
What are your daily functions like? Take us through a day of your life in PREP Luxe.
Wow. Every day is different. I don't mean to give a difficult or a cliche answer, but every day is really different. Sometimes people ask me and what I do, and I would tell them like I'm actually, for a while we were doing, especially when we first started our business, like each of the founders were there every day and we were front of house. And that's when you really get to interact with people, see things on the ground level up. But then behind the scenes, even as a startup, you have your different departments, just that maybe one person will overlap the roles of like finance, HR, legal, operations, marketing. And then the beauty of a small business is you get to approach things on a very heartfelt level. So when you talk to people about your business, it's not because like I'm doing networking and I'm trying to do marketing and I'm trying to sell you things that you may or may not need, but I just want to sell it to you because I am in a business mentality. At the end of the day, I've come to learn that business is personal, not that you don't have personal and business divides, but business is personal in that you cannot strip away who you are, and that comes across a lot in your business, like who I am personally and professionally. I think it is important to be one and the same person. Of course, then the amount of information you divulge to a good friend versus a person who's a business contact, you limit or restrict or you expand that, but at the core of it, I'm the same person.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally understand. What advice do you have for people who are just starting out or thinking of being an entrepreneur, because being an entrepreneur is definitely not easy. As you've mentioned, your first year there were so many things you had to do. So what advice would you give to people like, say, myself, who's just starting out?
I think the people you have around in your life is very important. Whether you are starting a new business, or even if you're starting a new career as an employee, or you're starting a new season in life as a mother, or all these different things, right? I think it's very important to have good people around you, and to not lose. At the end of the day, when you strip away businesses and what you're starting at, all these things, right? These are things that you have, and they are not eternal, and they are not there all the time. So don't lose yourself in the process in trying to gain other things, and really always hold on to that big picture, have that big vision, and really be very focused on what you're trying to get to at the end of the day, without losing sight of that, because it's very easy in the day-to-day, like, run a business, let's make the money, let's hire people, let's get all the marketing, and there's all these things. And I would admit that my co-founders and myself, there was a period of time where we were so caught up in the nitty-gritty of everything, and you feel, at the end of the day, you feel like, wow, I feel very accomplished because I did so many things today. But at the end of the day, you're like, but actually, what did I really do? And it takes up so much time. So to prioritize your time and prioritize what you want to focus on is very important as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Do you have any last words for our viewers? Shameless plugs are more than welcome.
Shameless plugs. I think the thing that sets PREP Luxe apart, I know for sure that the thing that sets PREP Luxe apart from other hair salons, right? And coming from co-founders of a hair salon who've never been in hair styling themselves, I think we make good consumers, and that's the way we approach the business, that we really want to add value to people's lives. That PREP Luxe is different from other hair salons in that we really offer you that space and time for respite in the middle of your busy day, and that we get it, and we're human as well, and don't think of this as just another business or another hair salon, but we get to the heart of like what it means to be a busy person in Singapore, and to actually offer you that 1 hour, even with a blowout, or that few hours with a colour and all that, to have that space and time for yourself. And we really treasure like everyone who walks through the door is not just another number, but it's really a person that we're really happy to have there and to get to know as well.
Alright, thank you so much for doing this interview.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.